Lesson 1024, problem 1062, problem C. So in this problem, we're looking at when we're given a quadratic equation in standard form, so ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, we're trying to decide if there's an easy way to figure out how many solutions the equation would have. So you would need to go ahead and put your equation into the quadratic formula. And then I just want to show you 3 situations on what you might get if you do this. Okay, so when you're given your equation in standard form, go ahead and list the a, b, and c, substitute those into the quadratic formula, and then let's look at 3 examples on what you might get for your answer and how you can quickly see how many solutions you have. So in my first situation here, let's say I took my equation, I put it into the quadratic formula, and I was left with this first piece here. So x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 divided by 4. Okay, now this I could keep doing. I could keep solving it because I know the square root of 4. So if I kept solving, I would get that square root of 4 would simplify to a 2. So then I'd have x equals 2 plus 2 over 4, and the x equals 2 minus 2 over 4. So if I simplify these down, let's see, I get 4 over 4 or 1. And on my other one, I would get 0 over 4, which is this is just 0. So you can see here that I have 2 solutions, and the part of the equation that I would see right away, that I would know that there's 2 solutions, is right here. If this number under the square root is positive, then right away I should know I'm going to have 2 solutions because I'm going to have plus the square root of that number and minus the square root of the number. Okay, so when we look at our next example here, so I went through and put my numbers into my quadratic formula, and I get this as my answer, so 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 5, all divided by 4. I should be able to see that I have 0 solutions because I cannot take the square root of a negative number. Okay, so here I would have no real solutions. And I should be able to see that by whatever number is under the square root there. If that number ends up being a negative number, then right away I will know that there are 0 solutions. Whereas in the first problem, since this number under the square root was a positive number, we had 2 solutions. And let's take a look at the third case we might get. So if we went through, put our numbers into the quadratic formula, and we got this, 2 plus or minus the square root of 0 divided by 4. So if I were to keep solving that, there is no plus or minus square root of 0. There's just 0, right? On a number line, you just have 1 0. So this would give me 2 plus 0 or minus 0. They're the same thing. All divided by 4. So 2 plus 0, 0, 2 minus 0, 0, 2 plus 0 would be 2, 2 minus 0 would be 2, so we just get 1 solution, 2/4, or if I simplify it, 1/2. So in this case, I have 1 solution. Okay, and right away what I'm looking at is this number underneath the square root. If that number under the square root is 0, I'm going to have 1 solution. Okay, so we're really looking at that number under the square root, which is called the discriminant. So to determine how many solutions, we want to look at this part, the b squared minus 4ac. Okay, if the number under there is positive, like it was here, we will have 2 solutions. If the number under the discriminant is negative, we will have no real solutions. And if the number under the discriminant is 0, we will have 1 solution.